Salute, Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing after a big win in the 6. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Replay Gang. Shout out to Knicks Nation. We back here, ladies and gents. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about this big win. New York Knicks, first big win in Toronto since 2015. Ladies and gents, let that sink in. Shout out Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing right now. The New York Knicks pick up their 4th straight win, and it feels great. 112 to 108. Gritty, tough performance. New York City ball. We witnessed it tonight on the road. Road Warriors. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle stood up. The New York Knicks All-Stars got it done. The role players stood up, played tough defensively from the get-go. You know, you just knew this was the kind of game where the Knicks were switched on, you know, from the get-go. You know, you just know. Lily Phillips, absolutely, man. Tough performance as well. I'm glad they grinded it out. You know, at the end, you know, no wins given, nothing's promised, but you've just got to take it. And the New York Knicks snatched this victory from Toronto. Buzzer beater, salute, let's go. Absolutely, we here. Got to chop this thing up. We'll talk about our all-star selections, fam. I know you've got your reserves up in here. Appreciate you. Kaiser Soze, salute. Will, salute. Everyone else piling through. Give us your thoughts after this big win on the road. The New York Knicks are now 4 games over 500. The New York Knicks are now 4th game win streak. Baby, as we continue to roll. 8-game winning streak, 5-game losing streak, back on a 4-game win streak. But this is probably one of the best Knicks victories of the year right there, man. I've got this one right up there because Toronto were floundering, backs against the wall. You know, they were 16 and 22 heading into this big game tonight. You could tell Fred VanVleet wanted it bad. For some reason, I feel Pascal Siakam just didn't have it going tonight. But you got to give the Knicks defense credit because they blocked Pascal's path to the lane. You know, he absolutely torched us last time. Almighty, what's good? 4 in a row, right? Flames. Yep. Starting the new year on fire, ladies and gents. Undefeated for 2023. And we'll keep this thing rolling as the best chat in the biz comes through. Keep the streets buzzing. Smash that like button. Knicks Nation, we out here Friday night when the feeling's right, having fun. Friday night Knicks, big victory. And I think we're not even quite at the halfway point of this season, or we're right on the halfway point. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Knicks go 4 games over 500, the New York Knicks are now 22 and 18. Yep. So we got one more game till we're at the official halfway point as well. Great performances from the Knicks here. Role guys stepped up. The whole starters, really, this wins on the whole squad tonight. Obviously, Randle on fire, came out. 5 threes. It was 6, but 1 foot on the line in the first quarter. Julius Randle was on NBA Jam mode, hitting straight net. Like, seriously, people were just, beside themselves. You know, the net was just swishing on every single one. And I was just happy for Julius to keep heaving it. But obviously, a credit to Toronto for fighting back. You know, they didn't want to get embarrassed on their home court. And they finished the game strong. As we see, the New York Knicks, though, did win 3 out of the 4 quarters. You know, came out well, 30 to 26 in the first, 27 to 21 in the second, extended the lead. Third quarter, obviously, Toronto came out after halftime. They tightened the screws defensively, 31 to 24 in the third. But the New York Knicks finished strong, right? It was tough. They were trapping. You know, I wasn't expecting the Knicks to get even face that kind of trap towards the end, but Toronto didn't want to give up, you know, as well as their season continues to flounder right now. They're absolutely struggling right now. Shout out Ron, still Knicks fans in the house. Let's go. Appreciate you, fam. Big win tonight. What's your thoughts on this one? for all the people that say, the Knicks are going to, struggle to build sustainable winning, this win will go a long way to, to quelling a lot of that. No RJ, no Obi-Wan Kenobi up in here, and both look like they're ready to come back soon. We heard some more news about RJ's lacerated finger, and, it was quite serious by the sounds of that. It was a dislocation that ended up, causing the bone to protrude through the skin as well. So that explains why RJ's been out for longer than most people think. So prayers up. He's healing up well. He's going to be back, and he's going to give this team another huge boost. We've got two guys on the verge of all-stardom. We all got to get out here and vote, ladies and gentlemen. Let's vote these all-stars in. Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, because tonight they played like all-stars. The league got to pay attention more to Randle for his start. What was really close to being a franchise tied record with 6 threes in the first ended up being 5. But Julius's hot start really, got the Knicks on their way tonight as we got out of the gates really well, and we know how important that is. Knicks Nation on the road, especially against a team with their backs to the wall. You want to take these opportunities to get out well, and it's because of Julius's hot shooting, and everyone else locking down as well. We played really well defensively tonight, so that's great to see. Shout out to the whole squad. We saw heavy minutes though, so we'll talk about that when we look at the box score and the road ahead tonight, and we'll talk about our All-Star selections. Knicks Nation stand up, 4 straight, first win since 2015. Predicted in the last show, I was like, it can't be the Linsanity game. It can't. It kind of had to be in a mellow game. I think that's when I was guessing the last time the Knicks won in the 6. It was when we had Mello, I think, and hopefully Manchild comes through. I know he's in the 6. He went tonight in the building as well. Manchild, where are you? Hope you come through tonight as well. We want to hear some insights from tonight. But the Knicks game plan worked really well tonight. They obviously their game plan is to protect the paint. They cut off a lot of driving lanes for Fred VanVleet, Pascal. Scotty Barnes just hasn't looked the same this year. If you can cut him off, you can relegate him to being a jump shooter, and then you're starting to see some weaknesses. Scotty Barnes, OG, Almighty Finesse. What did you think of OG's game tonight? A lot of fans still feel OG will be a nice fit for the Knicks. Played solid defense. But yeah, tonight, Randle and Brunson were a load, and they were too much. And I'm just so glad we got revenge on these Raptors because, just like the Phoenix one, it's about time we start putting to bed some of these horrible hoodoo streaks right now. It was Phoenix, now it's Toronto. Finally got that huge win since 2015. So don't get much better than that, ladies and gents. Let's enjoy our Friday night talking about this team. Miles McBride really contributed again, hit some timely shots. He had 2 or 3 threes. We'll talk about him. Quentin Grimes continues to contribute, be that starting 2 guard for this squad. Dribble drive, pulling up, shooting the 3 ball really well. Mitchell Robinson was hustle and muscle tonight. Hartenstein gave really, really good effort as well. And Jericho Sims. And of course, Emmanuel Quickley was super, super impressive tonight. We're seeing growth right before our eyes with Emmanuel Quickley, particularly decision making, particularly keeping his dribble alive, probing tonight. There were some clutch possessions where they were all in quick skin. Scotty Barnes was all over him, but he was navigating the pick, keeping his dribble alive, knowing when to draw the foul, not being too cautious of that, but choosing, the right time to rise up and shoot. And that's been one of his weaknesses, is Emmanuel Quickley with his decision making. The Raptors had a lot of chances too. We closed out really well. The key takeaway for me defensively tonight was we really, really closed out really well. We closed out hard with the shooters. Toronto started pretty cold, and we were closing out hard, making it difficult for them. And then, of course, when they dribble drive, we were cutting off the lane tonight. And all we needed was offensively our guys to be in a groove. You know, Julius Randle was that. He was NBA jam mode on fire up in here. And we heard on the MSG broadcast Wally talking about how nice of a gym this is to shoot for the shooters out there. That proved to be true tonight as well. So you guys tell me, what was the most impressive thing, for tonight as we preview the road ahead? I said out of these, including tonight, the next three, I was happy with two and one right now, but we've got this tough one out the way. We go back to MSG for the next two against the Bucks, who lost tonight. The Bucks got their doors blown off against Charlotte, so they're going to come out hot. They're going to come out hot with that situation, and I'm really, really looking forward to that now. That's a huge Eastern Conference marquee matchup as the Knicks continue to get more shine, more attention around the league right now. Not going to go as far as say haters, but a lot of people that were skeptical of these Knicks, are now seeing the metrics right now. Crazy metrics, for the New York Knicks, second in defense right now. All-stars making their case, Jalen, Brunson, and Julius Randle. So, yeah, the New York Knicks have got nice depth right now. So that's something I want to keep in mind, when anyone's proposing trades and things like that. We've now seriously got to consider the chemistry that this team is now building. Chemistry is key. We've got a lot of young players ascending, so you want to be careful not to, give them up, and see what these guys can become. Also, familiarity. Now, everyone's becoming more familiar with everyone's game right now. Once we get RJ back, we get Obi back. We can, addition by subtraction, cut maybe Hartenstein's minutes down. Either Hartenstein or Sims seem to be the one that's going to get their minutes cut. Obi slots in at the 4, right there where his home is at. Hopefully he gets up to 18 minutes, 20 minutes a game. Gives us more of a scoring punch. Yep, off the pine. Damn. Absolutely, man. We'll serenade Julius and give out his flowers. But yeah, in terms of all that trade talk, right, can't entertain that right now at all. Right now. And I know, yeah, it's great that you mentioned that, Buzzer, because a lot of people obviously, are talking about Julius's value, where it's at right now and how high it is right now. But you can't entertain that at all, All NBA player 2 years ago, back to an all-star, right? If Julius Randle becomes an all-star again, that's an all-star appearance 2 out of 3 years. I mean, since when have the New York Knicks had a player like that? Since Carmelo Anthony, right? You need to hold on to that. The contract's friendly when he's playing like this, right? It's ascending or descending. So, yeah, let's see. Kaiser says, yeah, we could do without iHeart permanently. He gives you effort. Definitely, he's got shortcomings defensively, but yeah, it's more of a redundancy in my opinion. Jericho Sims, another huge youngster that's deserving a lot of shine, and he's going to continue to grow. He's got better athleticism than Hart. Can stay in front of his man. Plays better D. Bigger shoulders. Better rebounder. I mean, yeah, you hit with that, man. That's one thing that I think Knicks Nation, most of the Knicks Nation seems to be on the same page with that, with Sims and Hartenstein, doing it big. And it just makes this season, even if you're not evaluating wins and losses, it makes this season become even more of a success the way we're going right now. Quickly drafted, right? McBride drafted, Grimes drafted, RJ drafted, Sims drafted. So many of these players in the rotation drafted right now. We'll talk a bit about Evan Fournier tonight because I've been saying I think we still need his minutes right now with RJ out. Evan's the true pro. I think he gets a lot of disrespect that I think is a bit unfair as well. Yes, his game has shortcomings. Whose game doesn't? Right there. He has weaknesses defensively, but right now, Evan's a guy that we still need offensively at times. He can relieve some of the pressure with ball handling, and scoring as well. Yeah, We will talk about why, Derek Rose is in the top 10 in voting, which is something you see every year, like Linsanity. When Kobe Bryant was 39, 38 years old, he was still getting voted in. So it's like, yeah, they're immortal, basically. They're legends, and their legacies continuing to live on. Whatever they've done in the league, they continue to get votes because of what they used to do as well. That's true fandom right there as well. Yeah. So in terms of tonight's observations, before we talk about more about the box score, um, we saw Miles McBride really hit some shots tonight. Now, his confidence is growing, right? When you've cemented a role for an NBA baller, you start to feel more loose, ladies and gentlemen. I got to pull up some stats during the week, but I want to look at how many games in a row has Miles McBride played before he, had DNPs. This, in my opinion, I think it feels like the longest stretch where Deuce McBride is actually played now before not playing at all, or being injured, or going to Westchester, or any of that. So you're seeing Miles now earned his role. We're coming up to less than 24 hours where the contracts of Archie Diacono and the contracts of Svi Mikhailuk have to be guaranteed, and then they'll be on the squad. Tom Thibodeau vouched for those dudes. They're great locker room dudes, like the Theo Pinsons kind of role from 2 years back. So let's see. Let's see. Just because they guarantee them, I guess, doesn't mean they can't waive them later and open up another roster spot. It simply means that their salary is guaranteed for them for the rest of the year now. Svi's hardly seen the pine. Archie Diacono, we know, is a nice veteran mentor and a nice practice guy, and Jalen Brunson's boy. So I expect Ryan to stick right here as LRY is up in the house. Salute. Yep. Facts, right? Call everyone out, fam. Let's get out here and vote. I'm going to vote as many times as I can tonight after this performance, man. Let's ride this wave and this momentum. Let's just keep this streak going, baby. We back here. Yeah, Will says Deuce hit some huge buckets down the fourth, which was great to see. Yeah. Even more impressive, Will, was the no hesitation. Well, normally, especially with a game on the line, man, normally he'd be like, pump fake, what do I do? No, I want to get the ball back to Quickly or Brunson, but no hesitation from Deuce as well. The jump shot looked great, looked smooth. Something that didn't look smooth was Mitch's free throws. Again, he hit a couple down the end, but I think he missed 2 in a row as well. So that's worth noting as well. Yeah, Ron says Knicks look really good on D tonight. The effort was there, and they kept the intensity. Yeah, that was key too. You're right. Julius was the man in the first, and Brunson was the man for the fourth. Yep. Spitting knowledge is Ron as well, doing big things with still Knicks fans. Salute, Ron. Hope you're well. Happy New Year to you and John, and also yeah, this year it's been up and down, but it's crazy. We think about we're not even at the halfway point. 40 games in, and something tells me that the biggest thing's yet to come. We've seen an 8-game win streak, we've seen a 5-game losing streak, which to me doesn't really reflect what this team was. 3 out of those 5 losses with free throw shooting and better decision making and play calling, the Knicks win 2, 3, 4 of them. So the 5-game losing streak is what it is, but I'm glad now that's in the rearview mirror. Now with this 4-game winning streak, against solid opponents, Phoenix and now Toronto in the 6. Now we get to go back and see what we're made of, against the Bucks. Yep. Yep. Alas, not voting now makes us look bad. Great team win. Let's get everyone in. Yep. Like I said, it'll be great for New York Knicks PR having 2 All-Stars at the game. Schmoozing, mingling, having fun out there as well. And also, we know why these players play the game. They get salary, they get paid millions, but they do love the recognition. ladies and gents. You know, we all love to be recognized by our employment, our peers, and all of that stuff. And if you're an NBA baller as well, that you know, in your coming into your prime, you know, you want that shine as well. Yeah, I hope these guys get it. Um, One thing I'm not familiar with is how the rest of the voting plays out. You guys let me know. Do you feel like Derrick Rose, you know, the fact that the fans are voting him in, is he likely to get in? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure how it's going to play out. But yeah, having two Knicks at the All-Star game is well deserved. Whether it's starting or reserve, it don't matter. Don't matter to me. You know, these guys have earned every bit and some right now. As we look at the standings now, Nick Streets, ladies and gents, the New York Knicks are still in outright, well, tied sixth, but we are in sixth right now with the Pacers also at 22 and 18, hot on our heels right now. Tyrese Halliburton making his own case for All-Star buzz. You know, we all know what happened with Molly, and of course the Pacers picked up a big win tonight, which is why they're still tied with the Knicks. The Pacers beat the Portland Trailblazers 108 to 99. So it's a great win by the Pacers. Let me just peep the box score there for a hot minute. Tyrese only played 33 minutes. He had 15 points and 12 assists. That's scary out there. He is a real true point guard. Is Tyrese Halliburton. So, you know, respect to him. Also respect to Benedict Mathurin. 21 minutes, he scored 19 points, so he lit it up tonight. Isaiah Jackson chimed in with 12 points off the bench in 14 minutes. Miles Turner, there's talk that he's on the block. Buddy Hield as well. So, yeah, look, the Pacers, I do feel like they're going to sort of make a move to tear it down a little. I don't think they're serious about making a playoff push. I think if they're smart, just a couple more losses can put the Pacers back down to where they can get into the lottery and add to that scary talent. Man, that'd be straight scary for the rest of the league as well. A smart organization of the Pacers, you know, the way they're building, making smart trades as well. But the New York Knicks are on their way. 6th seed right now as we approach the halfway point. I want you guys to tell me, are we right where you think we are? Do you think the New York Knicks are exceeding your expectations as well? Are they slightly below your expectations, perhaps? I tell you what, though, what could have been, I mentioned a couple of those losses from the losing streak, right? With the Knicks 4 games over 500, right? With Philly 23 and 15. If the Knicks had won against Chicago, Toronto, and the Dallas one, the New York Knicks would be ahead of Philadelphia in sole 5th seed, ladies and gents. Let that sink in right now. Right on the heels of the Cleveland Cavaliers at 25 and 14. So, not going to dwell on it too much, but I'm just bringing that up to say what could have been, where some of the way people are judging this Knicks team, maybe not quite giving it the respect it needs, you know, because we pull out a couple of those games we blew away, and we're right there with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who everybody was salivating over, with Mobley, Garland, and also, of course, Spider Mitchell and Jared Allen as well. So the New York Knicks are on their way. They're building a nice platform as well. We haven't even gone all in. You know, I called out the Clippers this week on Twitter. They're in 6th seed, right? They're below Sacramento and they're below Mavericks right there. They traded everything for Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. The excuses have ran out for the Clippers, you know, in 6th seed. When you go all in and you're not even better than the Sacktown or the Mavericks, you know, then you can't just flick a switch. You know, so no one's really calling out the Clippers. The T-Wolves went all in. Rudy Gobert blew up in their face right now. So I say that to say that the New York Knicks are trending up, but we haven't even made our all-in move yet. You know, we're trending up from youngsters playing well, growing, developing, and RJ being in and out of the season, Obi been in and out as well. So give this organization some credit. right now. You know, they've got ways to grow, they've got ways to build up in here as well. And we await, obviously, their future moves to see how they can get us to that next level, because we're not at that next level yet. But boy, is there an opportunity for this organization to hit the right buttons and get us there as well. Get us there. Exactly right, Will. Yep. Everyone want to say an all. Everyone wants to pine for an all-in move, but sometimes it can blow up in your face. So I think the Knicks are right to be patient right now as well. You know, we know the joke going around that the Knicks are mid, then they're on the road to nowhere, all of that stuff right there. But if that's the case, then what's the case with the Clippers? What's the case with the Mavs? What's the case with the T-Wolves? All of that stuff, man. It's tough in this league. You know, it's tough. You got to be careful not to trade all your picks for one player. And if that player doesn't work out, then you're screwed right now. So we're just building along. It takes slower than some people want. But let's see. Let's see what they end up doing, fam. But real team effort tonight to win 3 out of the 4 quarters as well. To win the first quarter and the fourth quarter was key. The second as well. The New York Knicks were consistent tonight. We're just really consistent. We didn't really see any of those kind of huge runs or lapses tonight. And of course, it was expected that the Raptors would make a run, but I think we really quelled that, really well. Yeah, Miami's a great point too, Will. Yep, definitely. Definitely as well. So I guess where can you start giving credit? I'll start with the drafting situation. Yes, we missed on a few guys, but you also got to highlight the guys we did take right now, and they're contributing for this organization. They got us going. Yep. Allah's point, great. Yeah, IQ got the fourth quarter started off right, fam, and Fournier, great points, fam. Yeah, how could I forget? Because coming into that fourth, it was close, and the Raptors were prime position to make that run. And what did Quickly do? He came out, and the Knicks scored the first like 6 buckets, 6 points, as well, to stretch it out to double digits. And that was a great start to the quarter. It relieved a lot of pressure as well, because if they had gone on a run to start, it would have been tricky. Yep. Grimes, yep, and OG's Elite D. That would be a nice situation, nice combination. But I want to see RJ back and him to continue to grow. Defensively. Shout out to the situation where we're at with the stats right now. Top 5 in offense, top 5 in defense, all of that stuff. I don't get too nitty gritty with all the numbers as well, because our eye test tells us all where this team's at right now. Every one of these players are important. Mitch keeping it down, holding us down in the paint. And of course, our souped up perimeter defense now, closing out hard. Deuce McBride's been key, as has the effort, Quentin Grimes, the effort Brunson gives you, and Julius Randle as well, giving him his shout out for effort defensively, where he's staying in front of his man, he's running back, he's chasing, he's not getting caught out of position as well. Mike T in the house, let's go. Mike says, I'm afraid Obi needs to be traded to a better situation for him to shine. Perhaps we can get Duarte for Obi. Yeah, with that situation, I think the Knicks will continue to keep dialogue with teams, and I think they won't trade Obi unless it's a deal they really like, because they do like Obi. I'm sure they would be, mulling over whether to keep him, for the rest of the season, wait to the summer, see what he looks like, just let things play out. I think there's no rush, because restricted free agency will still favor the team with the players' rights, Mike. But in terms of your train of thought, like that's what a capable front office should be doing. Should be looking at what's out there, see what we can get. The situation in Indiana would be ideal for Obi as well, for a growing team. and a position of need for them. And in terms of us and seeing what we could get, I think the Knicks would obviously be after that first round pick, and obviously another piece. I think a rotation piece that can help us out. Right? CAA salute. Let's go. Yeah, IQ's growth it's just been like tonight was one of the best games I've seen IQ in terms of control. And last 10 games, 18 points, 5 assists, and 40% from three. Yep. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but I said at the beginning the Knicks would finish this year hot. We would finish the year better than what we started. It takes time. We've only played 40 games. Players have to get into their rhythm, right? They got to get comfortable playing with their guys. Get used to seeing different looks as well. And what are we seeing now? We're seeing basically almost everyone on this team play the best ball of their year to date so far, right? You could look around the whole team. Basically, everyone's playing their best ball of the season. Minus RJ and Obi out, and obviously Fournier's out. Sort of been out of the rotation, but most of the key rotation players, except Hartenstein. Yep. So yeah, shout out IQ, man. Shout out. We'll give out his grade. Yep. Also, what Mike's sort of thinking is it's tough to trade. Knicks have so many players that we all love, a lot of fan base loves, but you've got to give up something to get something. In the NBA we see so many lopsided trades, but there's nothing wrong with a trade that benefits both teams. Just situationally as well. With that said, it's going to be a wild, wild trade period, fam, as the buzz continues to heighten. The New York Knicks will be in a position of power, in my opinion, position of leverage, because look where we're at, cruising along in 6th seed on a win streak right now. We've got some surplus pieces. We're not desperate to trade no one right now. It's not like we have to get rid of this guy. We have to trade this guy ASAP. We don't right now. So let's see. Let's see who offers us what. A little under the pace so far from the 53 wins, but sticking to it, right? Yep, we'll shout you out, fam, even if they get close, because that's to go out. That's belief from from the get go, belief in this squad, and like I said, I think they're going to finish this year hotter than what we started, fam. Yep, wait till everyone gets back in terms of RJ and that, with Brunson and Randle just playing like an all-star with a lot of confidence, And shout out to the way they're playing off each other as well. There was question marks heading in. How would Brunson play off of Randle? How would Randle play off of Brunson? But in terms of just 40 games, there's been no confusion down the stretch. Both willing ball movers. Passing it on if they need to, and all of that. In terms of Almighty saying we can't just keep on to these picks forever, absolutely not. We can't. Yep, these drafts are coming up, fam. It's just a matter of this front office has obviously got their certain guy. They're eyeing their certain guys to go all in for. Well, and their job's at stake as well. So yeah, pressure will continue to grow. I think with that. Are we better than 2 years ago? I think we are, definitely. Definitely. If you look at our guys, Reggie Bullock, very one-dimensional, can't really put the ball on the floor, could shoot well. And Elfrid Payton, we know how that worked out. This year we got Quentin Grimes, who's multifaceted. And of course, Brunson's a much better upgrade. Yeah, like Mike says, we turned their season around with the gritty Team D. And shout out to Tom Thibodeau, who was under pressure, man. It's funny to think about some of these really bad losses we had, and I don't even want to turn back and think about them. But that happens in a season that's early. It's 82 games as well. All I wanted this team to do is build consistency, fam. Just have their best and their worst close together, not be losing, crumbling down the stretch and then all of a sudden beating Milwaukee or beating Toronto. on the road. So yeah, getting back to winning the true way, New York way, right, from D. Yep. Elite D as well. We're not just top 10, we're like top four, top two with that situation right now. Yeah, we've got the situation with Rose, with Fournier, yeah, with Cam. Maybe even someone comes in for Hartenstein. You know, the way Sims is playing, it might convince them as well. Parrish in the house, salute. Yeah, we're taking this league by storm. Happy New Year, Parrish. Appreciate you. Hope everybody's well. Many blessings out here to Knicks Nation. We're just having fun, you know, with this season. We've watched so much ugly ball over the years, and right now, this team does have a clear ceiling, obviously, but we're heading in the right direction. You know, we got we got guys that I think will look at the Knicks situation now. If we're in the sixth or fifth, fourth seed without a number one option, that's very enticing for a big free agent when they do become available. That's young, that fits this timeline as well. Whether you think it's Zach LaVine, whether you think it's Devin Booker eventually when he looks out, or whether it's Joel Embiid, but someone, and at some point, if we continue to win and look stable, and we have the cash to splash, we have the fan base, someone is going to come up in here, man. It's inevitable. I'm still keeping my eye on Spider because, you know, in 1.5 years' time, he can choose his destination. So that's going to be key. We could argue about Spider's fit and all that. We could do that on another show. But I'm just thinking about Spider's in terms of his future, his decision making. I think Spider is going to really consider his future when he becomes unrestricted. Yeah, for this season, I think we will make some minor moves, but I think we won't really stay pat. I will be surprised if it's a big move. You know, if it is a Zach LaVine move or someone else like that this season, I'll be surprised. I think they want to let this just see what this season brings. You know, in the playoffs, if we fall or we crumble, it'll be learning experience. And if we make the play in and fall out, we're back in the lottery as well. So that's good for the draft pick situation. CAA says the front office got to be not stop being scared and they need to be bold. Need a bold move now where things are hot right now. Tell us what moves you want. And CA does give a move, IQ, heart, and a first for OG. We heard some recent talk that the Knicks, it's more rumors, but the Knicks are now not entertaining any move for Quick, which wouldn't shock me, you know, the way he's playing right now. But Tom Thibodeau may have a lot of input, fam, in personnel moves. So let's see. We know Tom Thibodeau is a huge fan of OG right there and the swarming defense that we could play as well. Also, yeah, with the Obi talk, you know, Tibbs did go out, sort of be clear with what Steph Bondy said. And fam, it does look like Obi's going to get in the rotation. Maybe they're just going to play it slow and not rush him. You know, maybe bring him in one game for 12 minutes and increase his minutes as we go along, fam. Let's see. One thing we do know about Tibbs, he does love playing big. So it won't surprise me if he keeps playing, you know, dual big men with that situation. Tibbs rarely goes small with that situation. So I want to bring up the box score now, fam, up in this thing. Bring that up on screen. Everyone can see. We'll give out some grades now. We've got to start with our first All-Star, Julius Randle. Tonight, 40 minutes. He was 10 of 22. Efficient night from Julius. On fire from three. That definitely opened up the defense. Had him scrambling. Man, I've never seen the Raptors defense scramble that much. And by the way, the refs were atrocious tonight, ladies and gents. They need to be called out again. They were hacking, whacking from Julius to Brunson. And I'm glad that call on Brunson wasn't overturned, right? That would have let you know that there was cheese involved. if that call was overturned, man. Scotty Barnes, hit Brunson across the chest with that. That was a definite foul. So, but yeah, the Raptors were able to be physical tonight. Later in the game when the screws were tightened, but Julius Randle's start in this game opened things up. Obviously, he was swishing and dishing, and it was letting other guys get comfortable as well. Um, One underrated aspect is Julius Randle's just been another beast on the rebounding. Again, pulling in a lot of rebounds, 11 tonight, 3 assists, and had the turnovers down. Was in the plus, 32 points, efficient night, 3 balls wet right now. Sign him up to be an all-star with this. And yes, Allah's on point. I heard that too, fam. Wally said the refs were trying to help the Raps slow Randle down. Yep, some of that cheese as well. Definitely. He gets a similar call to LeBron, I think people do let them get physical with Randle a lot. And I think that's what causes a lot of frustration for Randle, and so it should. I mean, you know, he should be getting star treatment right now because if he's another All Star, that's 2 out of 3 years. He's an All Star, fam. 28 years old, coming into his own right now. He's Randle. Um, Obviously, the 3 ball was the story 2 years ago with Randle. The 3 ball was, people were saying it's not sustainable. It was empty gyms. It was a fluke. All of that stuff. We won't see it again right now. Well, not jinxing nothing, but his 3-point percentage looks pretty good to me right now as well. So that comes from hard work. That comes from dedication, practicing as well. Julius Randle got that work ethic from the late, great Kobe Bryant, you could say, ladies and gents. There's Tim and Corbega in the house. Saluting our heroes tonight, having fun, rocking out. The streets buzzing right now. Smash that like button. And yeah, I was just talking about Randle's 3-point ball, because if he continues to shoot at this clip, it's going to be great for other guys to get involved, but also just for our offense. And let me say this to you guys too: if people had made, let's say it was a national media person, no one that's a Knicks fan, if they were to make a prediction about what could the Knicks be good at, what would they have chosen, offense or defense? They probably would have chose defense, right? Tom Thibodeau, you know, you know, habits, the history of Thibodeau and what we were 2 years ago. But how many people would have predicted the New York Knicks offense would be top 5? You know what I mean? So that's another feather in the cap for Randle in terms of his shooting. Well, our offense don't get to where it's at without some of these guys shooting more efficient, taking better looks too, passing up good looks to get a better look. All of that good stuff. Big task. Let's go. Big task. Yep. Going back and forth with the Raptors. Yes, it's very important to vote these guys in as well. I think votes count for 3 times tonight. Yep. We can get these all-star calls at home. Yeah, facts, right? Yep. Definitely. So yeah, got to give Randle an A+ for his performance tonight again, set the tone, hit the shots, rebounded, played hard. Also that Warrior, 40 minutes. Well, doesn't complain. I'm sure he's hurt, banged up, but he continues to go. Also, with this in mind, I'll ask you guys another question. With Randle, let's say Randle and Brunson are all-stars, right? Is that enough for you guys to say these are 2 out of our big 3, right? Let's say you could pick any other guy realistically to be our number 1 or our to complete our big 3. Would you want to see more, or would you feel comfortable as Randle and Brunson now being 2 out of the big 3? With obviously, if you want to beef up our supporting cast and any of that stuff, we can. Draft picks, we could draft the next stud. But I think in terms of right now, our veterans, If they're both all-stars, they're playing like that, you know. So yeah, A+ for Randle. They continue to give him a bit of daylight as well. That's key to Randle's shooting too. You know, OG was sagging off early on, and Julius was letting them know, right, I can hit it, you know, I can hit the step back even right there. Well, Wally was given props to the step back from Juju tonight. But yeah, man, anytime you shoot 6 of 11, right, you're having a great night. And I wish that he hit that franchise record, you know, 6 in the first quarter, but he just missed it. Well, but who knows? He might get it. Yep, we do got 3 guys averaging 20 already. Yep, yeah, definitely, fam. With plenty of draft picks, some salary cap space, some guys on rookie contracts developing. Who knows what Quentin Grimes' ceiling could ultimately become? You know, um, like I say, you never learn what a player is going to be until they get consistent minutes. That's why I've said with Deuce McBride, you're seeing confidence tonight, man. He hit shots because he's been playing a significant stretch right now, right? And that's the argument Obi Hive have, which I understand. I've watched NBA enough. When a player gets 15, 20, 30 games with heavy minutes, that's when you start to see what a player can be capable of. You can never know what a player is capable of when they play 11 minutes, they get 4 shots. Next game they play 16 minutes, they get 2 shots, that kind of thing. It's frustrating. With that said, yeah, if Obi does go anywhere, I no doubt he's going to thrive. He's going to thrive with Indy, wherever he goes, if it's a good fit, and he's getting minutes right now. Also, whilst we always pay credit to the other team, Toronto, we have to say, they've been overhyped. We got to call it out right now. Slumming in the 12th spot right now at 16 and 23 right now. That's a deep, deep, deep hole to come back from, ladies and gents. 7 games under for the Raptors. So knowing what Masai Ujiri is all about, he's selling right now. Right. Bidders, get ready. The Toronto Raptors, in my opinion, now after tonight, I've seen enough. They're going to sell, right? They're only 3 games off, 3 seeds off being the bottom team right now with all that talent, right? It's loaded. It's a log jam. I think they're going to sell some pieces off. Fam of the Raptors, man. They're under pressure. They couldn't win at home tonight. They played tough, played hard. Now, next up, let's give a grade to the next man in line, which is Mitch tonight. He got some more shots tonight, which was great to see. Mitch, 4 of 8, 35 minutes, and he was 2 of 4 from the line. 8 offensive rebounds, right? Is that a record? 8 offensive rebounds for Mitch. 10 defensive, 18 total, right? Absolute beasting. Best offensive rebounder in the league. 2 blocks. Of course, 6 fouls, fouled out. They are extra harsh on Mitch at times. Sometimes he does have his hands out, but sometimes they are ticky-tack as well. 10 points. So Mitch used up every ounce of what he had to give tonight with 6 fouls, 18 rebounds, and 4 of 8 from the field in 35 minutes. Stand up, Mitch, as well. I'm going to give that an A for tonight. Mitchell Robinson gets an A as well. 18 rebounds. That's crazy. Right there. That's dominant. 2 blocks and 50% from the field. 10 points. Mitchell Robinson keeping dudes out of the paint. Yep. Will says Scotty Barnes regressed a bit. Weak bench. Nick Nurse will be on the hot seat. Yep. Great point. Killer Dogs, salute in the house. Mitchie is top 5 in blocks right now. One of my, I think it was more of my bold predictions actually, was that Mitchell Robinson would be in the consideration for all defensive team. That's not looking too far-fetched right now. Whether it's second team or third team, defensive team, Mitchell Robinson's making a huge case. With that said, yep, 10 defensive rebounds, 18 total, 2 blocks tonight. He's been getting a few steals recently and some assists as well. But I do like Mitch's extra involvement offensively as well. It relieves the pressure off other guys. When the defense keys in on Randle and Brunson, best believe at times there's going to be a guy wide open, and most of the time that guy is Mitch near the bucket. Tonight they look for him as well. There was a couple where they found him and he was hacked, and there's a couple that I think he missed, slipped through. But in terms of vertical spacing, we need to use that more with Mitch. Rim running, his ability to own the glass was absolutely key tonight. So yeah, A for Mitch tonight. Now next up, our next All-Star. Let's vote him in. Close the game out, sealed the deal. Number 11, Jalen Brunson, right, in 38 minutes, was 9 of 19, 3 of 6 from 3 ball as well. So that ain't bad for a team that was mocked as not being a decent 3-point shooting team. These guys are getting looks and they're hitting them. 50% from 3 tonight, 5 of 7 from the line, and 5 rebounds for a small one, 8 assists total. Stand up, making teammates better, all of that great stuff. Jalen Brunson can, like I said, he could play that role. He can look for the guy more, or he could be passive, or he could take over. And you just knew in that final possession he was going to take over. Got a great defensive player, OG, off his feet, and hit the banker and won as well. It was euphoria up in here. Salute to all the Knicks fans in the building. It was just a nice, calm, measured play from Brunson. He sized up the D. To be honest, he got fouled by OG as well. As yes, man-child's come through the house. He's got the streets buzzing up in the 6. Salute to you, man-child, representing us up here. Yes, wouldn't expect anything less. Lost your voice, cheering man. What was your favourite play? Yep. Keep spitting some knowledge. We want to know. Yep. What did you see out there? Like I said, no doubt that Brunson final play, it was beautiful to see. He's got that move, hezzy move, head fake, gets the guy off his feet. That's a trademark move from Brunson. But yeah, I feel like he did get fouled as well. Fred VanVleet gets, in terms of a guard that is a good defensive player, no doubt about it. But man, Fred VanVleet gets away with a lot. He gets to play a really tight defense on guys, checking them as well. And he bumps into them. A lot of contact, just doesn't get called sometimes, which is quite frustrating at times, but let's get these All-Stars in so we can start getting the calls. Yep. At the Knick game, how are your seats tonight? Also, man-child. But Jalen Brunson's grade tonight, I mean, did everything right. Scored 26 points. Interesting, the stats do have him at minus 15. Minus 15. It must have been when, Toronto was making all of their run. But that's certainly not a reflection of, obviously defensively he's challenged at times, but he was a big catalyst for the Knicks to help us pull this one out. His composure when they were trapping was key too. I'm glad we got through that because we're going to see that a lot more from deep playoff run, etc. Important, meaningful games during the rest of this season. We're going to see this team trapped, and I think they really, really executed well tonight. They passed the ball out quick. They moved in the center of the court, to avoid getting stuck by the sideline. And I think especially with the young players on the court, they'll learn from tonight's great great performance, great situation. So yeah, another A for Brunson tonight as well. Stand up, deserving all-star for me. He's my all-star starter up in here, with obviously honourable mention to Halliburton and Trae Young. Both they deserve a situation too, but I've got to go with my hometown guy, JB, up in this house, right? And we've got a super chat, ladies and gentlemen, come through from Jax. Appreciate you, Jax. Let's go. Jax says, would you use our picks to move up in the draft? It would be like a tank and a playoff season in one. Best of both worlds, ladies and gentlemen. That's a great question, Jax, because yeah, a lot of the fan base are no doubt excited by what this draft is coming up, and I am too. We'll do out lots of content on these prospects, and I'm confident wherever the Knicks pick, we're going to get, as evident by some of these late picks we found. I think the Knicks can still find a gem. But to your point, there's no doubt the higher we can get up in this draft, the more game-changing talent you could find in terms of that situation. I think, yeah, I would consider it, definitely. I think given we've found so many keepers for roster spots moving forward, I don't think we have too many spots to draft too many prospects. With that said, if we end up with the Washington pick, if the Washington Wizards somehow make the 8th seed or better, we will get Washington's pick this year. If we don't get it, um, it'll move forward, and we might get it next year. And I think it continues for 2 to 3 more years until it conveys to second rounders. But having said that, we'll definitely have the Dallas one. That's top 10 protected, and I do feel like Dallas is going to definitely make some moves, and Luke is going to get them in the playoffs. So that's a guaranteed 2 picks as well. The Dallas one could be somewhere between 15 and 18, anywhere around there. Our pick might be around that situation as well. So to pair both of them up to maybe get up to, in another piece, if that gets us up to 10, 12. My worry is, fam, Jax, I don't know if a lot of teams high up are going to be that interested in parting ways with a good pick. But you never know. You never know, because it could come down to them being in a roster crunch as well, and them having, multiple firsts, such as Indiana. One of the reasons the Knicks are talking to Indy right now, fam, is because they have 3 to 4 first rounders as well, and they might not want to make all those selections. So part of that could be a strategy. If they do want to trade Obi and get another pick, that could be part of a strategy, fam, to pair up more picks to try to move up as well. I like building through the draft as well, me personally. I just feel with Tom Thibodeau here, if the Knicks do go on a run, make the playoffs, I think their focus is going to be on veterans still, I think. You may have fan base up in arms, but it won't shock me if we trade out of this draft again, or trade a pick for a future pick, and just keep pushing these picks further along until we have all these picks to move for a star as well. So yeah, it bears watching, fam. But I do like that idea of winning and also getting a great pick, which I do want to mention too. The New Orleans Pelicans, fam, are in the exact same situation. Jack's chat. The New Orleans Pelicans are up there with the top of the West, and they're going to get the Lakers selection. Let that sink in as well, right? The whole house is going to burn down if they end up with Scoot or Wembanyama and finish at the top of the West as well, right? That's going to burn some streets down up in there. Ilmatic, salute. How we doing? Yes, the team can have. I can't imagine what that would have been like, man-child, in the house tonight in Toronto. Salute to you, and for cheering us on. Um, let us know if we can see you on any of the footage up there, man, representing. I did feel confident down the stretch. We just needed to execute. We needed to to beat the trap, and we did it really well. You know, move the ball quickly, get it over the double. You know, jump up high, quickly get it on, and that's what they did. I thought Randle executed really well, dribbling it up. Brunson did really well to getting it up. So next man up, ladies and gents, Emmanuel Quickly was a huge contributor to this situation, this whole streak, basically. Recent play. I'm not going to go as far as, you know, this, but, you know, quite possibly the reason we're seeing an even better Quickly is because of some injuries, you know. RJ out, you know, is no lie. RJ being out has increased IQ's role, you know. It's hard to believe 3 weeks ago or longer we were hearing some IQ trade noise, you know. And now fast forward to where we're at now, you know, that's pretty much all but dead right now. I'll be shocked if we're trading quick. And I'll tell you, if you guys do want to trade for OG Anunoby or someone like that, if we are willing to part with Emmanuel Quickly right now, his stock would be so high that we would be able to facilitate a bigger move, I think, with Quickly's stock skyrocketing now. Right? He has fans around this league, is Quickly, especially with play like tonight. Right? When GMs scour the league, they look for players that aren't playing huge minutes, but they believe could thrive with bigger minutes. And that's exactly what's happening with Emmanuel Quickly right now. 4 of 8 from the field, 50% tonight. He missed all 3 of his threes. However, he was 5 of 6 from the line, got 5 boards and 4 assists, plus 9, 13 points. So the stats don't jump out for IQ tonight, but his play jumped out to me. He was a steady hand, basically. I'm looking at a guy that looks steady out there. You know, they're trying to rush him, but he looked pretty calm. He looked composed, and he definitely, like Il says, he's really, really matured. Which ain't a shock to me. You know, he came in the league, was pretty successful for a rookie. You know, you could say Emmanuel Quickly's rookie season for a player drafted 25th was pretty successful. So he has the tools. He's put on muscle, Il chat. I think that's been key for a Quick as well. You know, as a guard, you need strength. You know, he's able to obviously contain dribble penetration now. You know, the shot he came into the league with, that was his strength. But yeah, he's worked on his weaknesses. Just like Manchild points out with Deuce. Deuce has got the shot falling now, which is scary to think. With his defense, if Deuce can turn into an offensive, productive player, look out. But yeah, I mean, one could point to Quickly as being in the top 1 or 2, 3 of our top two-way players in terms of two-way right now. And that's opening eyes around the league. GMs, all of that stuff, man. Like I said, if you were to want to trade Quickly, you would definitely get a first-round selection back right now, the way he's playing. Obviously, that stock could continue to go up right now. And I'm not saying I would do this, but if you're Toronto and you are doing a fire sale and you are going to sell, you know, Fred or anyone outside of Pascal, you are going to trade OG Anunoby. You know, whether you're after draft picks or young players, Quickly should be a player that they would be interested in getting back because he's young, he's growing, he's shown he can start, he can come off the bench. Very, very valuable, fam. 1 more year under cost control as well. If you get him at a nice, friendly extension rate, and he continues to outplay that, that's sexy for a GM as well. So yeah, Emmanuel Quickly tonight, I've got to give him a. The stats don't jump out, but yeah, I'll definitely give Emmanuel Quickly a B plus for tonight. The way he conducted it as well, kept the ball moving, 4 assists, was under control. Now, next man up is beloved by the fan base as well. Quentin Grimes, is getting more and more fans by the day. And 36 minutes tonight, he was 6 of 13, was Q dot tonight. That was huge. 6 of 13 again, another Fisher night as well. With that said, everyone would have thought Grimes is just a 3-and-D guy, 1 year ago, 2 years ago when he was drafted. Could he just be a nice 3-and-D kind of guy? Play some D, shoot a three kind of thing. But we're seeing much more than that. We're seeing a dude who can handle the rock, make great decisions with the ball, can pass, can assist, can put a lot of dudes under pressure. With that situation, Quentin Grimes is still young as well. So his ceiling to me is yet to be determined. 4 of 10 from 3. I like that. I like Quentin Grimes shooting 10 threes, right? No one else on this roster tonight shot more threes than Grimes outside of Julius. So that's kind of what you want it to be, right? Outside of Julius, okay, he handles a lot of the offense. But outside of him, who's the next guy you would want to shoot the most attempts? To me, it's Quentin Grimes, right? So that was a great thing tonight. 10 attempts from 3. He hit 4 of them as well. So that's 40%, baby. 2 assists, just 2 turnovers. Was minus 19 though. So a couple turnovers. Obviously playing a hell of a lot of minutes now is Q dot. 36 minutes, 16 points though. So that's great production for a young starter in this league. 16 points, right? Giving you 40% three ball, 4 threes, and 6 of 13. So he definitely gets a B. Yeah, just Quentin Grimes. You guys tell me. What are you thinking about Quentin Grimes this season? Is he becoming this player you hoped he would be? Is Quentin Grimes exceeding that? Were you like, man, this is what Quentin Grimes is? Yeah, he's going to continue to do this, man. Ilmatic says, I wrote Deuce off before the season started. I'm so happy to be completely wrong. Well, actually, I'm going to go out there and join you, fam. Well, not that I say I wrote Deuce off, but I said he would be situational, very situational. And I said IQ's, Deuce is, we're probably not going to see him. He's probably best being on another team. But yeah, like you, happy to be wrong with that situation again. Friendly contract, another year on it coming up too. 2nd round steal. Jax doesn't want to break up Obi and Quick. I'm hoping we can keep both coming off the bench. Yep. Yeah, in terms of like seeing young players over the years, fam, we want to wait till these guys have max chance to show what they can do. Quick's getting that opportunity now. Obi's never had that opportunity. It just is what it is now with the situation, with positioning. Part of me doesn't want to be too selfish either in terms of thinking about Obi and what he might want. What does his agent him want in terms of his future role in the NBA? If he's happy to be a New York Knick, play 21 minutes a night, sign me up. I'll keep him. Friendly contract, all of that stuff. Let's see. Sometimes too, though, to run a good team, run a business, you got to sell high as well, or you got to sell when the time is right before you lose out. It's unfortunate. Manchild got to see Grimes in action now in the flesh tonight. Part of the future on this team. No doubt about it, fam. We don't even need to convince anybody, not even the front office, because they kept him out of all talks right now. He's repaying the faith right now. Under cost control, 2 more years, right? He's out of bounds in any trade talk, unless you're talking about a bona fide superstar, right? Yep. Like Almighty says, Grimes and OG would be legit. And like I said about bona fide superstar, let's say one day Joel Embiid says, I'm available, Philly want to trade him, then you absolutely need to trade Quentin Grimes in a deal, right? Philadelphia is definitely not trading Joel Embiid without getting Grimes in a deal, in a package as well. So you can't really call him untouchable because, anyone can be moved, but he's the closest thing. Like Illmatic says, we're beginning to see why. Yep. And that's facts. That's on point. And like I also added after that talk died down, I said they got to see Grimes in practice. We only get to see players in games. They see these guys in the facilities, every day. They knew what Quentin Grimes was, not just because, he's flashed some things in game, you know. They see him behind the scenes as well. They probably would have seen him hit 33s in a row in the gym, play make a little, lock down dudes in practice, all of that great stuff. So yeah, we give him a B, solid all round team effort tonight in terms of the box score. But ladies and gents, this doesn't change now that we head to the bench discussion. This doesn't change the fact that the Knicks still need help off the bench because look, yes, we won tonight, but let's look at how lopsided this box score is. Look how top heavy it is in the starters. All 5 guys as starters helped us out, pulled this one out in double-digit scoring. But off the bench, right? If Miles McBride doesn't hit shots, we get 4 points from Fournier, 0 points from Sims, 2 points from Hart. Right? That's not going to get it done. That's not going to get it done. But that's one good thing is that it's so obvious. Leon Rose probably knows, would know what needs to be done now, right? What discussions need to be had right now. If they've decided, okay, we're not going to make a huge splash unless something is too good to pass up. But this starting 5 is what it is, We obviously have RJ to come back, and that means Quickly goes back to the bench, so that's fair enough. We need Quickly scoring back off the bench. Derrick Rose, DNP, ladies and gents. So give me your Derrick Rose prophecies right now, because his Knick career does look like the sun might be setting on that. Yeah, Nick Yak, Fournier hung in, and now we got a 40% three-point shooter. Yep. Almighty asks, is it possible to win the chip without a star? I don't think so, fam. No. If you think about what it takes to win a chip, man, it's 4 7-game series. At some point, a star is going to be needed to pull you out of the trenches, especially like tonight as well. Could you have 1 or 2 stars and the rest role players? Definitely, if they're the right guys, I think. Jarvis in the house, salute. Nice win tonight, definitely. Do you think Randle makes this all-star squad? Will Mitch make second team all D? Yep, on point, Jarvis. I love these questions as well. Sign me up for Randle. He definitely should make this all-star team, fam. He deserves it. One thing is I don't think there's going to be too much bias because he was an all-star, 2 years ago. And he's playing better than then. So if he was an all-star 2 years ago, he's definitely so far this year. Now, I'm going to vote him in again and again. Let's all vote tonight. And will Mitch make second team all D? I think he's deserving of one of the teams so far. In terms of the on-off numbers, Mitchell Robinson is the best player, the best defensive player in the NBA. Ladies and gentlemen, that was before tonight's game. That stat. Let me find it again. I'll read it out. I read it out in the last show, but if somebody missed it, I'm going to pull this one up for the Nick Streets up in here. All the diehards up in here, shout out. We keep this thing buzzing as well. Smash that like button because yeah, the Knicks on a 4-game win streak. We're having fun right now, and I found it. So You're absolutely right, Jarvis. Second team, first team. Let's listen to this. When Mitch is on the court, the Knicks are holding opponents to 110 points per 100. That ranks 5th in the NBA in terms of team. When Robinson's off the court, the Knicks are allowing 114 points per 100, which would rank 24th in the league, ladies and gentlemen. So numbers don't lie. Knicks rank 5th with Mitch on the court. Knicks rank 24th with Mitch off the court as well. That's insane. Right there. That's insane. Yep. Jerry Salute. What's good? When the Knicks get to the point that Brunson and RJ are the starting guards, backed up by IQ and Grimes, and they have 2 good top small forwards and a top center, that's when we'll get a parade. We're getting there. Yep. Appreciate the optimism. Definitely you could see now some light at the end of the tunnel right now. Let's hope we're getting closer and closer. I think not enough's getting said about our flexibility too, fam, with picks. With a capologist like Brock Aller, you give him the right tools, he's gonna make things happen. We might have to flip a few dudes that we don't want to part with, but we're closer to building a chip contender, I feel, than some people think right now. Yep, it is also hard to get scoring from the bench players too when everyone's playing 40. That's a great point, Jerry, too. Yep, that does also reflect the trust that they don't have in the bench quite yet. But Deuce McBride was a great positive plus tonight, hitting those shots, as well as we're giving the starters their flowers. We will give the rest of the squad their flowers. I'll start with Deuce in his 21 minutes tonight. He probably should play more because, again, he never hurts you. He's always great defensively. And if he's hitting shots, that's just gravy on top. That's mac and cheese right there. When Miles McBride hits shots tonight, he was 3 of 6 and 3 of 5 from 3-point land, man. Stand up. 3 of 5 from Deuce, right? Sign me up to that. Plus 14, 9 points. So talk about, perfect role player filling in tonight, making it tough, playing defensively. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, I will find out the stat, but I'm interested to know if this is Miles McBride's longest stretch of his career playing without missing a game. I'm talking DNPs, Westchester, all of that stuff, in terms of playing for the big squad. Because when a young player gets reps, confidence, this is what you see. This is what you start to see now, right? He doesn't have to look over his shoulder, just Deuce McBride. He doesn't have to worry Tom Thibodeau's going to yank him, if he misses an assignment right now. His role on the squad is solidified right now. So when that happens, a player plays with max confidence, max confidence, no pressure, any of that, right? He knows Cam Reddish or Evan Fournier is not coming off the bench to take his spot. Archie Diacono's not right now. So we're starting to see a stretch now where McBride's playing and he's getting better and better. Now, offensively as well, he gets good catch and shoot looks, because what's the defense going to do? They're going to disrespect him. You can't sag off Randle, can't sag off Brunson. When RJ's there, you're not going to be able to sag off him. You can't sag off Grimes. You can't sag off quickly as well. So what's usually going to happen is Miles McBride's going to be open. If he can hit shots, then that's key. Yep. Jarvis says, don't want to jinx anything, but it seems Mitch in great condition and he's found his right weight. Great point, Jarvis, too. Yes, let's highlight that. He looks like he's got his conditioning real good. Looks more durable. No doubt he looks tired at times, gassed, but that's because of the effort he's giving. And yeah, salute to the right weight too. Yep. we're seeing a big difference in his mobility now, fam. Yep, with Mitch less, carrying less muscle, less weight. That's key, and it's at the sweet spot for Mitch right now. It's perfect right now, right? All defensive type player this season, right? If he stays healthy, sign me up. I bet that he makes the squad, fam, because you can't ignore these numbers. I mean, we're fifth in the league in points allowed with Mitch on the floor. We're 24th in the league with Mitch off the floor as well. That's crazy. Yep. So let's look at the road ahead now in terms of moving forward, because around the league, yeah, we're tied still with 6 possession with Indiana winning tonight, but we are in the 6th seed and not far from the Bucks, from the Sixers, and of course the Bucks lost tonight. The Sixers and the Cavs. That's 3 games out of the 3rd. Yeah, it's crazy to think if we beat Toronto earlier, Chicago and Dallas, the New York Knicks would be an outright 5th right now, which is insane. But what's done's done. We've got to look ahead. A lot of even good teams throw away games, so it just made all of us sick that it happened in such a short amount of time. Going from an 8-game winning streak to throwing away 3, unthinkable losses, and then now 4-game winning again. But obviously that just highlights the health situation. A lot of these losses we didn't play without RJ and Brunson. The Texas trip was tough, right? And that's why I still do have Brunson as this team's MVP, right? When he's out, we can compete, but we fall short. When you add Brunson, we can basically go on a huge streak, and beat anybody up in here as well. And not only that, but he's the team's closer, like we saw tonight. Um, just real shifty, knows what to do down the stretch, doesn't panic, can pump fake, get the guy in the air, all of that stuff. Kind of like what CP3's been making a career out of for years. The Knicks haven't had a point guard like that, since Mark Jackson, in my opinion, in terms of just headiness, making the right plays. And again, I'll shout out Julius and Brunson for the way they play off of each other as well. There was no egos coming in. People were maybe wondering how was this going to work out with Randle having the year he had last year, Brunson coming in, a new face. How was this going to play out? But the fact that the 2 of them look like they've been playing ball together for 3, 4, 5 years, well, that deserves a shout out, because it's just been 40 games that Brunson and Randle have shared the same floor together. So, yeah, like I said, it looks good for the rest of the season. We'll finish this year hotter than we started, I think. And as more chemistry starts to get, built, Quentin Grimes coming into his own now, quickly, looking like a starting caliber talent in this NBA now. That's no joke. If Emmanuel quickly continues to look like a starter in this league, that gives us huge flexibility up in here. Nick Yak, salute. We get 65 from 3 starters. The bench can't get you 40. Yep. So yeah, we're picking up steam, fam. We're picking up steam on a lot of these teams. We would be in 5th seed, like I said, if we didn't throw away these games, fam. So, yeah, great night so far. Having fun rocking out with the Knicks Nation, Knicks chat. Got everyone buzzing right now. Pop that like button, because yeah, the New York Knicks are silencing some haters up in here. I predicted the Knicks, I predicted that the Raptors were overhyped. Miami was overhyped. And I think Chicago was overhyped. Right now, it's proven to be true. I didn't quite go on a limb to say Atlanta would be hyped or were overhyped. That's probably more the shock for me. And the Indiana Pacers as well. So yeah, it wasn't a shock for me for the Heat and the Bulls. I saw chinks in their armor, but The Hawks, I did feel were going to be better. DeJounte, Trae Young, that's a blight on them for not getting their stuff together. Because I don't know what's gone wrong in Atlanta. I don't know if you guys have seen what's happening. And also, yeah, Indiana Pacers, I'll give them credit because they hit with young talent as well, got chemistry, got got pieces in the right place um, for that. They got a well-rounded roster to the Pacers, but like I said, I do think the Pacers are going to still be open to blowing things up, right? Their GM realizes they're ahead of schedule right now. There's no need to go crazy and try and make the playoffs or go deep in the playoffs. The Indiana Pacers we know aren't they're not going to go nowhere. Um, but the smart thing they could do is to sell off a few pieces, fall back down to the lottery, and add more talent with Mathurin and Halliburton, and they'll be in a really nice position. So with the seventh seed Pacers, I do feel they're going to slip. Heat are going to come up eventually because they're trying to win now. The Hawks will probably make a late run as well. The Wizards and the Bulls, I think they're going to jockey maybe for that 10 spot. But with the Raptors, like I said, I think Masai Ujiri's under no illusions either. I think they're going to be sellers soon. 7 games under. That's a black hole right now for the Raptors. I don't think they should need to be honest with themselves. Yeah, I feel for Deuce, says Jarvis, when he plays considerable minutes, which is 15 or more, the Knicks are 16-4. He needs consistent minutes to be a confident, efficient shooter. Yep. Yeah, great point, Jarvis, in terms of the impact Deuce has had. And we've seen a lot of flashes in Summer League and G League as well. Even going back 2 years ago when he had that 16-16 game, that that opened some eyes for him. And he got COVID, and then he just never had a chance after that to get back in. If it wasn't for, I guess, Evan Fournier's game regressing and Fournier's defense being glaringly obvious that it's hurting the team, that opened the door for Deuce. Of course, yeah, Cam going out as well. Trini in the house, yeah. In terms of back to the bench situation, now for me, I think Obi coming back, we need to see what that looks like for 10 games or so before the trade deadline, because quick with Obi, let's say you do maybe you play Deuce more minutes, and maybe you play Sims with Obi. That could be enough. That could be enough. Let's see. Maybe they make a trade for just future picks, like I said, to stack up their picks. But without Obi, we definitely need more bench scoring. Yeah. Orlando's a team to watch. Detroit is a team to watch too, ladies and gents, because they've got Bogdanovic that they don't really need. Alec Burks could be a name that they don't really need. The 11-31 Pistons, they don't need no veterans at this time of year. They're that close to the finish line with the Wemby sweepstakes, and there's already talk. There's a bidding war going down for Bogdan, for Bojan Bogdanovic. So I expect him to get up out of there. Alec Burks, let's see, maybe he's happy to ride out the rebuild and be that bucket getter for their rebuild off the bench. Yeah, like we highlighted before, fam, Nick Yak, who's out of this rotation? I think Hartenstein or Sims is definitely the one. We all feel it should be Hartenstein out and let Sims continue to play. He's more of the future of this team. Politics will probably play a part, fam. I will say, the money, the CAA connections from Hartenstein. But, we could be wrong. Maybe they do give Hartenstein a short look, and maybe they say, hey, you had your chance, and then Sims step on up. So it could be Hartenstein keeps his spot for a minute, And then as we get closer to the season, maybe it is Sims that eventually takes over as well, similar to the Fournier thing. I think if you noticed with the Fournier one, his minutes slowly went down and down and down till he went out of there, and they might do that with Hart as well. But yeah, like Trini's on point with, it has everything to do with Obi coming back strong as well. Lower leg injuries are never a joke. You know, knee, whatever it was, is going to be key. You know, and Obi's young, he's spry. I expect him to come back hot, look fresh. He'll be bouncing around the gym. He'll be chopping at the bit to get back out there, fam, and play with his boy quick as well. Getting buckets, shooting the three, all of that stuff. And truthfully, if you look at tonight's box score, we managed with hardly any bench production. So with Obi coming back, I wouldn't necessarily expect them to play him 18 minutes straight away. You know, what did Fournier give us? 12 minutes tonight. We will give a shout out to Fournier in a minute because he was plus 23 tonight in 12 minutes. But back to the point where Obi really should take Fournier's minutes. So you got Quickly, McBride, Obi, Sims, and Hartenstein, or you stick with the 9-man and you take one of the centers out as well. So yeah, the point being, Obi can be eased back in. You know, if he can give us 15 minutes in his first game back, give us 10 points, that's gravy right there. That's gravy. Manchild would trade for Duarte. Yeah, he's fascinating too. I'll be open to him, fam. He suits the need. I guess one knock is he's 6'6". You know, people are looking for extra size. Also, his numbers are down. I haven't watched Duarte much. I think he definitely needs to prove, you know, get regular minutes again. I think the fact that Matherin's come in, Buddy Hield playing, has made things tough. And 5 minutes for Sims. Whose minutes Obi getting now? We added McBride and Fournier. Yeah, it should be Hartenstein, in my opinion, fam. Like Manchild hits on as well. This is key, right? He's not a part of the future, you know. $8 million, that's nothing. You know, we eat that for breakfast up in here. You know, if he has to sit on the bench, be situational, it's not going to hurt us because Hart is expiring next year and it could be a nice trade asset. Yep, nice trade asset. Also, keep Randle fresh for the year, like Jerry says. Get Randle back to 34. Obi, get him up to 14 in this situation right now. Randle played 40 tonight. So, yeah. With that said, let's get Randle's minutes down. Let's get Brunson's minutes down, please, and pick up Quick's minutes. Grimes is at where he's at, 36. That can't really go up. Let's get McBride's minutes up a bit, as well. And while I want to hit on Fournier, I will say this, you know, this might be a hot take to some, but I'm okay if Fournier stays in the rotation, provided it's not big minutes. You know, if it's 10 minutes, 12 minutes for Fournier, I'm okay with that as well. We know Tom Thibodeau needs some veterans off the bench, right? In a big game, steady game like tonight, he can handle the ball. 2 of 4, hit some shots. Got a couple rebounds, you know, with the extra length, he can pull in a rebound. 2 assists as well, a steal from Evan. Trapped Pascal, got the steal. That was a key play. So that deserves a shout out for Evan tonight. He trapped finally. You know, I've been wanting to see the New York Knicks trap for a minute right now. Evan Fournier, his, you know, experience showed in that situation. You know, Pascal wasn't passing the rock as well. What did he do? He held on too long. And Evan was smart to get in there, knock it away. And that was a key part of the game tonight. Like I said, 4 points, 12 minutes. Yes, can he Can he be bad defensively on times? Absolutely. But 8, 10, 12 minutes to give guys more of a rest. I think we don't really have too much more at the moment on this roster than Evan Fournier, in terms of hitting some shots. So unless we trade for another dude, I would expect him to be in a lot of these trade talks, fam. One thing that does make, we've seen the best and the worst of Evan Fournier, but if you're another team, if the Knicks are talking to teams about a big deal and Fournier's name is up, one reason why that team might be enticed by Fournier is obviously he's only got one more year after this. So for next year, for a team trying to make a run, Fournier off their bench, shooting could offer something. And also the money's coming off next year as well. So they might want to trade multiple year salary to the Knicks to get Fournier for just one more year. So outside of that, the league knows what Fournier is. I don't think his play certainly hasn't helped his trade stock at all, But the thing is, he's such a veteran that other teams really know what they're getting in Fournier. So yes, he's probably going to be a throw-in in a deal, but I'm saying what might make it more enticing for a team, is the fact that his salary is coming to an end soon as well. But Nick Yak says we need his shooting. Besides, can't play Hartenstein with Obi. Yep. That's also why I said I wouldn't be mad if Fournier just sticks for this season, because next year or on the draft night in the summer, that $18 million becomes a weapon. $18 million expiring becomes a weapon next year for Fournier as well. Also, playoffs. If the Knicks season goal is to go as far as possible, right? Go deep, make the play-in playoffs, right? We know what Tom Thibodeau is trying to do, right? Well, Evan Fournier in a playoff game, you need some free throws sunk. You need a big shot hit, right? Maybe these young guys might freeze in the moment, Miles McBride might be 0 of 6 in a game, right? You're down 2 with 1 minute left, right? You need some shooting kind of thing, 7-game series, all of that stuff, right? Evan Fournier's played in big games. Well, so I'm sounding a bit like Evan Fournier's agent here, but I'm just trying to say that I don't mind if he sticks around, We might find a use for him later. We're not at a desperate need to trade Fournier. We could keep him on the bench. We could do something. Yeah, let's hope Jerry Giannis loves Fournier. We talked about some sellers. Who could be buyers? As Jay Boogie comes through the house, let's go. Big time win for this squad, fam. Yep. They tried to check us at baggage claim, right? But we coming straight through the gym, right? With their foot on their neck. 5.5 games out of first spot. Let's go, Boog. Let's go. You already know what it is, fam. As well. Yeah, big performance, man, from Jay Boog. Yeah, with that said, the clothes are up in here, fam. And got the new track Run out as well. Everyone can check out Jay Boog's latest, man. Got his own YouTube channel, as I put up on screen. Let's go. Got the fan base hype. Let's go, fam. Yeah, big time win, man, since 2015, since Melo was around, man, with that. Yes, deer meat on the menu next, fam. Yep, you already know. Salute Mets, Knicks, let's go. Close to being dangerous. Yep, I think we just need to play to our strengths, fam. Take game at a time. Get the ball in our closers' hands. Julius shooting really well. Brunson bringing that calming influence to close games out. I think once these young guys get more and more comfortable, we could go to that next level. I think this team's improvement is in the young players, because I mean, Brunson and Randle, what more could they give you? If Grimes continues to grow quickly, Sims, Mitch, all of that stuff as well. We here, D-Ras, we here. Yeah, 4-game win streak now feels good, ladies and gents. 4-game win streak, and outright 6th right now. Now we'll talk a bit about the road ahead, ladies and gents. Let me pull this one up. That's the other box score. Let's get that out of there. Yep. Yep. Here we are, ladies and gents. The road ahead now. All eyes lead back home for some home cooking and some deer meat, like Manchild says. I read something about Bradley Beal. I want to mention Bradley Beal is going to be out for at least a week. He's going to be reevaluated in a week. So we know Washington's coming up. So it looks like Bradley Beal might miss that first game, which would be the Knicks catch another break, fam. But first up is now Milwaukee. Now Milwaukee had a stinker tonight. How much did they lose by? It was the Bucks lost to the Hornets, man, 109 to 138. I guess it was just one of those games in a while that the Hornets decided to pile it on, right? We had a 23-point performance from Washington, 24 points from LaMelo Ball, and an explosion from Terry Rozier, 39 points. So they absolutely pummeled the hapless Bucks tonight. Giannis only played 22 minutes, 9 points from Giannis. So he came up limp or gimp. Got to check if there's any concern there or whether they just sat him as the game got out of control. But Pat Connaughton, Brook Lopez, Grayson Allen, Drew Holiday all played, and Beauchamp's playing a lot off the bench with Portis, Joey Ingles, and AC Green, Javon Carter as well. George Hill playing minimal minutes as well. Looks like obviously Middleton's still out. So let's give him our best shot, ladies and gents. There's no better time than to face a reeling Bucks squad coming off a real bad loss. The Knicks on a high. I think we absolutely take it to them, man. Full of confidence. And I really feel like the Knicks can pull this one out. Now, riding high. Yep. Nick Yak with the hits here, man. Hits for days. You got the 50 piece that the Hornets put on the Bucks tonight was the NBA, was an equal quarter high in NBA history. I think apparently, man, a 50 quarter piece in this first quarter. So, yeah, they gave up early, Jerry. I would too, fam, as well. Right, you got the big game at the Garden coming up. Well, like I said, every now and then the Hornets put up some points. They play fast paced. And LaMelo, Scary Terry goes off once in a minute. So that was that night tonight, right? But the Bucks definitely struggling now. No Middleton to rely upon. And I tell you what, I've noticed regression in what I have watched of the Bucks. I've noticed significant regression with Drew Holiday right now. He's a great defensive player, but he's definitely just complementary piece right now. I don't have Drew Holiday in that star category anymore, man. 19 minutes tonight, 12 points. He's blown a few games in the fourth, a few that I've watched as well. And Giannis is, of course, having a down year. So, it's tough for them with Middleton out for so long. It'd be like the Knicks having Brunson or Randle out for this long. It's tough. The focus draws on everybody else, when one of your key guys is out. But they're a postseason team. They're probably just trying to make it through. Right now, they're still up there in the standings. So let's see. There'll still be a playoff contender, but back to my point, I think the Knicks have the best chance that they're going to have to beat the Bucks. We play tough against the Bucks usually. We go at them, and we got our 2 All-Stars back home cooking as well. We got all the stars on Celebrity Row. Got the Knicks Streets in the chat. Jay Boogie dropping hits as well. The streets are buzzing right now for the New York Knicks. Smash that like button because man, it would feel good to go 5 straight and then face an Indiana team that's right behind the Knicks. Right behind the Knicks at equal record right now. They're jockeying with the Knicks for the 6th seed at 22-18. But the difference is the Knicks' goal is to go all the way up. I think the Pacers' goal, they're trying to maximize some trade value, and I think at the deadline they're going to go south. At the Pacers, if their GM smart, he would realize that they're ahead of schedule, and the Pacers don't need to push for a playoff spot at this point. It would be foolish, and the talk looks like they're trying to talk about Miles Turner, Buddy Hield, probably Isaiah Jackson's, Chris Duarte's are expendable. Build around Mathurin, build around Halliburton. And let's see, they need a young power forward, which is why they're interested in Obi. I would not be surprised if the Pacers initiated contact with the New York Knicks, right? Think about it. If you're Kevin Pritchard or you're a smart GM and your squad is young, needs a lively power forward, and you're looking at the New York Knicks saying, man, Randle's balling out, Obi's sitting on the bench, man, we could use some of that. Yeah, we could need some of that. So I think the Pacers called the Knicks to say what's up with Obi. You know what I mean? Because the Pacers, it makes too much sense for them. You got Mathurin, Halliburton, you got Turner. If you keep him, extend him. What do you need? You need a power forward to run up and down with these dudes as well. And I also think the Bucks are going to be buyers too, fam. Grayson Allen, I think he's going to be sold. I think they're interested in Cam, maybe Derrick Rose as a piece. I think, the Knicks definitely got pieces teams will need. Like, we take it for granted, but teams will want Cam Reddish. Teams will want Evan Fournier, when you're jockeying for position, you're the Milwaukee Bucks, right? And you're trotting out Javon Carter out there, no disrespect, or Grayson Allen, Bobby Portis is your leading scorer off the bench. You're going to need help. So Leon Rose, get to work. Sell off these dudes to the highest bidding. Right now, let's see what we can do. Obviously, one factor is the Bucks are some of these teams are Eastern Conference rivals as well. So, do the Knicks want to help some of these rivals? I mean, the Bucks don't really stand in our way or nothing. So, but I certainly wouldn't want to help Philly. I wouldn't help Cleveland. I would not help Brooklyn ever, ever, ever. In fact, I don't think Brooklyn and the Knicks have ever done a trade, as confirmed by Bobby Marks as well. He said when they discussed things in the war room, everyone just turned the other way whenever that was a possibility. So, will the Knicks and Nets ever do a trade? I don't see it with Jimmy D here. With Jimmy D here, I don't see the Bucks and Nets ever doing a trade. So, let's keep it optimism rolling. Let's sweep through this road, man. Let's get a hard-fought win against Milwaukee. Let's see if RJ's back. Let's see if Obi gets minutes as well. They might be ready. Indiana's going to be a tough one at the Garden as well. We need revenge on them. Then Washington with no Bradley Beal. Let's go. Let's take it. Detroit, Toronto again at home, and Washington. Man, don't want to get too far ahead, but if we sweep this road ahead, that's a 10-game win streak, baby. That's what we would have got with with the lost one in Toronto and Chicago. So yeah. Now, with that said, let's open the floor up. Any questions, any convo you want to touch on? I'll just bring up my All-Star selections as well, and yeah, get that out the way. Get the All-Star conversations going, fam. Let's go as well. I'm going to vote again. As soon as this show's finished, I'll jump on because, yeah, tonight's hot. These guys' performance tonight, man. Larry Markkanen had a great game, 49 piece last night. He's deserving, I feel, as well. But the thing is, you could vote so many guys. You know, that's why it's your all-star team. You know, you can't choose everybody. Some people might think it's disrespect that I leave Halliburton out and Trae Young out. But I mean, it's apples and apples. You know, Jalen Brunson's deserving. With that, 007 in the house. Let's go. Big win in the 6th tonight. And the first time in 2015, right? That needs a drink. We're slowly ending some of these bad streaks, right? It was Phoenix. First win in Phoenix in 5 years. First win in Canada for 7 years as well. This one was extra sweet, man. I'm not a fan of Nick Nurse. I'm not a fan of Fred VanVleet. Well, take that L, Fred, as well, man. He didn't take no meeting with the Knicks as well. Always been a Nick killer right there. Taste that L, Fred VanVleet, as well. You've been taken over by Jalen Brunson, right? This is your boarding pass. Up out of there. Yes, great point. Next 11, Jacks, East Coast teams, right? We did the hard yards now. We got our lumps out of the way as well. Let's prove a point that we can win at MSG now, because that's been an Achilles for the Knicks, you know. No doubt about it. That's been a challenge for these New York Knicks to win at home, especially when these teams get up for the big game at the Garden, you know. Also, can you guys tell me any of these ones national games? You know, we'll be due for another national game, and of course, as the Knicks continue to do well, look out for them to add more national games to the Knicks, man. More conversation, more eyes, more clicks, more interest as well. I tell you what, ladies and gents, I cannot wait for the next Brooklyn New York Knicks matchup as well. So much so that I want to pull it up and check when that one is, because giving the Nets some credit, they are absolutely rolling tonight. They beat New Orleans in a tight one, 108 to 102. So let me pull this baby up, and I want to check when the New York Knicks play the Brooklyn Nets next. That's going to be huge. You know, we own that building wherever it's going to be. And you can't make this up, ladies and gents. I asked when is our next national TV game, and it's none other than against the Brooklyn Nets this month, right? On Saturday, Jan 28. Yep, Saturday, Jan 28 at the Barclays on ABC. Ladies and gents, let's go. Right. Let's say we've sweeped all the way through this. We'd be like on a 15-game win streak heading into that game. Yeah, that's going to be fun. And then the very next game is a national game against the LA Lakers in LA. Sorry, no, at home, at the Garden. LeBron James. Talk is LeBron might be with 400 points remaining to beat Kareem's record if he averages 35 a game from here on out, it might line up. It might line up to that big game at MSG with LeBron breaking Kareem's record. We know how petty LeBron is. It's probably going to be that night. Just book it, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully the Knicks beat Brooklyn, and it's going to be huge on TNT, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe Evan Fournier's a Laker. Cam Reddish might be a Laker then. Yeah, this is crazy this season, the way it's been going. Yeah, so we don't have another national game until then, and then back-to-back national games. Then we got Miami, the Clippers, and then the Philly Sixers on ESPN just 4 games later. So, yeah, the schedule does get really tough coming up. So these next 10, 12 games are very, very winnable, but then it gets super tough with Cleveland, Boston, Brooklyn, the Lakers, Heat, Clippers, Sixers, Magic, Sixers, Utah, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Washington, Pels, Boston, Brooklyn, Miami, Boston as well. So that's a giant 20-game stretch. That's tough. So the Knicks are going to need to be, definitely clicking and definitely above 500 as much as possible if they're going all in. That could factor into the deals being done. You know what Leon Rose is looking out for, fam, because that is a brutal stretch, ladies and gents, that I just looked through. Yeah, with this, definitely, like we said, the next 11, fam, with this East Coast run. Let's run through that, fam. Starting with the Bucks as well. The pacemakers, we love to beat them all day, every day, and then it opens up with Washington without Bradley Beal as well. We'll give KP another parting present. With that said, my all-star selections again, as the New York Knicks are streaking, smash that like button. Jerry says all we could do is win on Monday. Yeah, that's key, fam. We don't want to let down at home as well. But it's a tough opponent. But you got to look at it without Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday and Giannis, and some role players. Is that much better than the Knicks 2 All-Stars and all our role players clicking? I think the Knicks have got a huge chance with that. And I've given Brunson my starting All-Star nod next to Spider. With the key omissions being Tyrese and Trey, of course. So, they'll be on the squad. No disrespect to them, but I've got to put my man Brunson in, and then of course Tatum, Joel, and Giannis in the front court, and the key omission being KD as well. KD is very deserving, obviously. I just think the Nets have just been too up and down prior to this streak. Obviously, Giannis, the load Embiid's carried has been huge as well. Now in the West, it was a lot easier for me. It was Luka and Steph, with the key omissions being Morant and of course Dame, Morant, Dame, and Devin Booker, and LeBron, Zion, and the Joker up in there complete the front court. So that picks itself, that team. I think with Booker, I don't think AD deserves to get in. I think I'll reward Zion this year, and buzzer beater, if you're still in the house, pull up your all-star nods, man, for your reserves. Actually, I think I still got them up in here, fam. Yep, still got them. So shout out, fam. Anyone else, put your selections in there. I want to shout it out. Buzzer's got Drew, Embiid, Bam, KD, Siakam, Kyrie. Yes, Kyrie and Spider. With that said, on your West reserves, you got Ja, Dame, SGA. Yeah, very deserving SGA. Markkanen definitely gets in. Clarkson, Sabonis, and Fox. Yeah, I can't disagree too much there. That's a great selection. Sabonis definitely deserves to get in. Fox is on the borderline, but because the Kings are doing so well, yeah, you could definitely shout them out as well. You know, the league, you know, it's a success story seeing the Kings do what they do. Like I said, I find it fascinating that they're better than the Clippers, but the Clippers aren't getting any heat, really. I mean, Kawhi Leonard in and out all the time. People just think that the Clippers are going to click a switch, you know, and it's going to happen for them. Now the Clippers are in 7th. It's crazy the way the Golden State Warriors have come up so quickly, too, fam. The Warriors were like 11th the other day. Now they're 6th. They passed the Jazz, Suns, Blazers, and the Clips to be 20 and 19 and 6th. The Warriors off the back of Klay Thompson's play and everyone else with Steph out. So look out when they get healthy. When Steph gets back as well. But the Kings shout out 20 and 17, overachieving, or you know, a surprise packet for the season. And they're close to the Mavs in 4th seed. Yeah. Yes, Jarvis, like our good friend Ronald Miller says, don't get too high, don't get too low. Let's take it one game at a time. Let's focus on these Bucks. Yep. Yeah, true, fam. If anything, you know, we ended the streak against the Suns. We ended the streak against the Raps in Canada. And now let's end this streak against the Bucks. You know, we definitely copped a lot of L's against the Bucks over the years. Like I said, now is the best time with no Middleton and them reeling tonight. But man, Giannis is going to come out hot. Just 22 minutes tonight from Giannis. Man, he's going to come out hot. Definitely rested. How many minutes did Drew play tonight? I'll pull that one up. So yeah, Giannis played 22 minutes and Drew only played 19 minutes. So yeah, those guys threw the game away early. Yep. The bench played the rest of the night. So Coach Bud sending a message that, but who cares right now? We're out here. The New York Knicks are streaking, baby. Right, we've got the world buzzing on this 4-game win streak. Headed in the right direction. A lot of promising play from these young cats. 2 all-star, borderline all-star guys. Let's vote them in. Let's go. Yes, Buzz is in the house. Rewarding winning. Facts. Yep, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis. Definitely, you know. I did find the West easier to pick, fam. I don't know about you. Did you find the East easier to select or the West? Yeah, as you point out too, yeah, the schedule for the Knicks definitely gets tougher as well, which is why I'm so pro extend the rotation. And back to these Knicks, let's extend this rotation, right? Keep a 10-man rotation. You know, who cares, man? Most of the time, a guy's going to get injured right now. You know, to think we're going to go the rest of these 42 games of the season without guys going down, that's wishful thinking. You know, right? We get RJ back, we get Obi back. Let's continue to play 10-man. Right there, man. I know Tibbs loves the 9-man, but you can't just say the 9-man rotation was the reason we were winning. It was effort. You know, it was effort, guys buying in to their roles, and also chemistry. You know, chemistry, right? Obi can play well without the ball. He can play off ball and get the defense moving. So that's key. Like I said, I'll take Hartenstein out. Sims at the 4. Sims at the 5, Obi at the 4. Play Fournier at the 3, McBride and Quick as well. That's some nice D scoring, a bit from everybody, rebounding as well. Yep, but the West, yeah, agree, fam. Also with Sims, you know, we've talked about his play, but his defense. Jericho Sims is a big guy that can come out on an island, right, and hold his own. You know, that's going to be valuable for the Knicks down the stretch, you know, guarding pick and roll. You know, in the playoffs, what are they going to do, right? Isolation. Let's say it's James Harden, Embiid pick and roll, right? Sims is going to have to come out, stay in front of his guy, stymie penetration. He does that. Yep, he does that. So, yeah, I'm loving it. Loving from Jericho's minutes as well. Prioritize him over Hart as well. But yeah, we might end up needing everybody, man, for this run. Let's sweep through this schedule coming through with the Bucks and the Pacers as well. Then things really open up. But can't get too high, can't get too low, right? We've seen the highs and the lows with 8 streak, 5, now 4. And we're building some habits now. And the Knicks are shooting well from 3. We're defending well and we're shooting well, which is key, you know, to win in this league. Now, yeah, the buzz is going to continue, the trade talk. Chicago could be a team that blows things up, fam. I'm going to say no to Levine as well, fam. I think we're in too much of a nice flexible position where I would not want to disrupt that with all these, you know, picks, with the demands that the Bulls would have for Levine, fam. I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be super tough dealing with the Bulls because they'll come from a position of power and they'll try to fleece us, you know. It'll be quickly, it'll be Grimes, it'll be two first round unprotected picks or kind of that stuff. I'm like, no, you know, the Knicks' depth is what's going for them right now, man. We need to swing for that game-changing talent. Right, but with that said, we'll get ready to wrap this show up. It's been great chopping this thing up with everyone out here, and the streets are buzzing. Smash that like button. Because, yeah, the New York Knicks are now, yeah, clicking right now. We're vibing, all of that good stuff. And, yeah, some tough games coming through. But we're here to chop this thing up moving ahead as well. Look forward to the next game. Next 2 at MSG, which is always great, right? The crowd's going to be there, fired up. And, yeah, Chris Middleton is going to be out, no doubt. And it's time to take advantage, fam. Yep. But definitely it feels good to build some more consistency. Now, the Knicks won 3 out of 4 quarters tonight on the road against a team with talent, you know. That's why I do get on teams that should be doing better, you know, right? Every media person would be happy to lump it on the Knicks, right? If we had that kind of talent and we're 7 games below, right? Fred VanVleet, Siakam, Scotty Barnes, you know, with the Barnes Hive, OG Anunoby, right? And Gary Trent, ladies and gentlemen. If the Knicks had that talent, you know, we would be the butt of all jokes right now. So 7 games below, they're struggling right now. That's why I continue to lump it on the Clippers as well. You know, for what they gave up, they're not getting enough heat right now, man. Now's their time to shine, man. It's got to make you sick if you're an LA Clippers fan, seeing the Lakers struggle. You know, the time is there to sink the boot in, right? With the Lakers stinking it up, right, in 12th. But where are the Clippers in 7th right now? 21-20. Now, I know the West is no joke, but you gave away SGA, who's bona fide all-star, balling out. You gave away all that draft compensation. Well, that's going to come home to roost. Well, you're building that trillion stadium in Inglewood with the ownership right there, and you're 1 game over 500 in 7th right now. You're over the luxury tax with Mook Morris as well, Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard, all of those guys, man. Clippers on a 5-game losing streak right now, man. When's the heat going to come for them right now, man? The Blazers are almost better than them. So it's crazy right there, fam. Yeah, Middleton. I think the Bucks are a playoffs team. You know, they cruise through the regular season buzzer, and then they hope everyone gets back healthy. Yep. Like Nick Yak says, yeah, Leon's going to try not to tie up big money, yet with some nice free agents coming up. Yep, true, fam. Yep, true. I think we're building this thing to be a more attractive situation so that when free agents come up, you know, they can really look at the Knicks and put us over the top. See, the thing I'm apprehensive about with trading is if you have to gut your team so much, you're left with bare bones, you know, to build with as well. Yeah, fam. Wentworth TV show. Yep. Female prison show from down under. Wentworth, fam. Yeah, Locked In. Yep, it's a great show. Very, very, very good show, man. Good acting. To be honest, I haven't sunk into it yet. I've watched, I think, maybe some of the beginning, but I do love the prison shows, man. CT loves the prison shows. Prison Break is one of my favorite shows, fam. Prison movies, prison shows as well. Got me buzzing with that. What's wrong with the Suns, fam? A lot's wrong with the Suns. They got no harmony, no cohesion, right? Remember, DeAndre Ayton didn't want to be there. He only stayed because they gave him money. You know, they dangled him out there, and then they were left with nothing. But they had to sign him. Also, CP3, right? We talk about how this guy's good for so long. Well, Father Time's undefeated. At some point, age catches up to you. You know, they're tired. Also, no power forward. You know, Jay Crowder. Drama there, fam. Drama there. Role players not really able to step up and score for them. You know, Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, you know, investing a lot of money in them. They're nice defensive two-way wings that can stroke it. But in the league, you need guys that can play make. You need guys that can dribble the rock as well. That's what makes Quentin Grimes more valuable, in my opinion, than Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. You know, I'm not disrespecting them. They deserve accolades. But again, Mikal Bridges, he's sort of one-dimensional, you know, quintessential 3-and-D. But Quentin Grimes is 3-and-D and some. That's the difference. He can play make, assist, and dribble. One thing he does lack, though, is the size. So, yeah, fam, the Suns, you're stuck in the West right now. Devin Booker's injury is not helping. They're on a 5-game losing streak as well. So, desperation's going to come in, fam. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Look for the Suns to try to call us for Julius, or look for them to try to trade Ayton. I think, fam. Which I'm glad we're not in that situation too, though, fam. Because when you're desperate, most of the time you have to overpay, right? Remember when the Knicks, you know, over the last 10 years, we were 2 games under 500. We're always needing to overpay because teams knew we were desperate, right? Yeah, facts, right? Oh man, it's gritty. Yeah, that's the thing about a prison show, fam. Grittiness, good acting, but yeah, not too pleasant on the eye at times. Yeah, matchups are big in the NBA. Matching up well with the Bucks is key, but we usually have some buck killers. Look out for, like the chat said, look out for Grayson Allen And look out for Jordan Niora, who lit us up, fam. Well, that's usually what happens when you key in on Giannis, too much. You key in on Giannis, someone else goes off, you know. Look for Drew Holiday to have his best game against us, Yep. It's a lot of teams that we can fleece out here, man, who have real no picks, yep, no cap, like the Bulls, yep. A lot of teams stuck, man. The Clippers can't move anywhere. The Lakers is held stuck. To be honest, it won't be long before the Blazers are stuck, Once they pay Dame, uh, Jeremy Grant paid, and Anthony Simons is super maxed out as well. I tell you, the teams with young talent with room to grow, like the Kings, look good, and the Pels, of course. The Nuggets got mad depth, so they're good. But yeah, the Kings, the Pels in third and fifth got young talent that's coming up. I favour that. If you're winning with young talent that's still growing, there's room to grow. But if you're winning with the Clippers, there's nobody really young on that team. You're winning with the Blazers. They've got a few nice pieces. Simons is young, but Grant and Dame, their ceiling's capped as well. So, yep, definitely, yep. We could sell Cam for the highest bidding. Facts, right? Yep. A lot of teams will love a nice 6'8" 3-and-D wing. Fam, yep. The only disappointing thing is we're not playing him to help some value there, I think that does help closer to the trade deadline, best believe it. I'm not talking about Cam coming in and scoring 18 and 10, but if he comes in, plays 14 minutes, gets 3 steals, 8 points, a couple flashy plays, that lets another GM know that he's fit, he's healthy, and he can do some stuff, Yes, 007, a great point. Zach LaVine's on a tear. He's hearing that noise, right? That's usually when a player starts to play well and put their foot on the gas. Right now, he doesn't want to be out of there, I think, or he wants to be out of there, one or the other. Yeah, yeah. Cam does get hurt, so it is kind of risky. Maybe that's also why Rose ain't playing a lot too. We need to keep bubble wrap on Rose as well for when a team needs. Yeah, Killer's on point. Oladipo, Miami is a team that I wrote off, but I mean, you usually can't write the Heat off, So the Heat are on the come up on a 1-game winning streak, but 21 and 19 in 8th seed. Bam Adebayo playing like an all-star in Jimmy's absence as well. Now that Jimmy's back, look out. Tyler Hero. The Heat are solid for 6, 7, 8th seed. So we'll be jockeying with them. Best believe it. The Knicks and the Heat are never too far away from each other usually, and it's going to be key. I don't think we've played in Miami yet this year in the 305, so that'll be a big game when Jimmy comes to face Tibbs. That'll be key too. Yeah, the pressure is going to mount on some of these teams, Minnesota included, Tibbs's old squad. So yeah, with that said, fam, there's going to be heaps of stuff to chop up moving ahead. And then of course we've got this amazing draft at the end of this thing. That's like the prize at the end of this rainbow for 29 other teams, ladies and gents. This draft is going to be insane right now. Yeah, great question and super chat from Jax earlier. Shout him out because the Knicks could have picks to trade up and also maybe make the playoffs. So a win-win situation, man. Yeah, a lot of people want to be negative about the Knicks' production this year, success, but with Mavericks and our own pick, let's say we end up with 2 picks between 15 and 20. we trade both of them and maybe a piece, and we can move up into that 12th range, 5th, 13th, 10th range. I mean, we'll know more as we watch March Madness, but there's depth. There's depth in this draft. There's talent. Yep. There's crazy talent up in there. Yeah, Jarvis wants a hard pass on Levine too. Yep. That's the thing. You never trade at the same time when you're the Bulls, you trade high on Levine. But if you're the other team, you never trade high when the asking price is too high. Too, right? The time to trade for Levine would have been 4 weeks ago, fam. Yep. And like I said, we know which position of power we're coming from. They're the ones that are desperate, right? Levine could leave. Levine could walk. Actually, I think he re-signed. So, yeah, I think the Bulls. He's under contract, and I think the Bulls will have him dangling out there for a minute. With that said, maybe they're waiting for Lonzo to get back. You know, Lonzo Ball. It's hard to know what the Bulls could have been without Lonzo. I think he's that key to their offense. You know, like Brunson. Because you know, Caruso filling in nice, but Colby White's okay, but they're missing their guy. You know, they're missing their starting guy. You know, Desunmu's nice, but let's be real. If you've got Levine, you've got Vucevic, and you've got their other talent, I forget their names, you're going to want a point guard, right, to get them the ball, right? You know, pick and roll with Vucevic. That's his strength. You know, pick and pop. You know, so they're definitely missing Lonzo. With that said, yeah, like LR hits on, man, 215 mil. Stay away from that. Leon Rose hasn't looked like a guy that wants to do business with that much, man. Brunson and Randle's salary together is earning that, fam. Let that sink in, man. Yep. Brunson, Randle, and RJ's salary together is just up near there, fam. Yep. Yeah, Jarvis is going to be insane talking about these prospects, fam. I'm just excited for the league as well to see some of these guys come in. I'm fascinated to see which teams are going to get lucky, man, hit the jackpot with this situation, man. I'd laugh if Charlotte and Michael Jordan ends up with Wembanyama. You know, I'd laugh at that as well. At the same time, I'd laugh if the Pelicans got lucky with the Lakers pick and got Scoot Henderson to team up with the Pels and Zion as well. Yeah, Kemba got cut by the Mavs. Great point, Buzzer. Shout outs to Kemba, New York's own. You know, mad respect for Kemba, but we seen it. We seen it last year as well. I feel for the guy because, you know, the mind's still there. You know, the ability to process the game. His body let him down. You know, Kemba. We've seen the man's can still play. The man can light you up. It's just those knees right now. You know, if Kemba gave me 50 mil, I'd give him my knees, man, so he could keep going, man. What about you guys, fam? As well. If Kemba gave you some milli to give him your knees, would you? Because he's still only 30. He's still 33. But like Allah says, you know, he had a great career, lit it up, all-star. Yeah, salute him. It sucked that he had his best years with a losing team, with Charlotte. I think he made the right move. Yeah, I think Kemba going to Boston was a good move for him. It just ended up being just a few years too late. You know, defensively, Didn't work out. Just didn't work out, man. Again, the knees. Rest in peace. Yeah, those knees, fam. Yeah, definitely killer. It's going to be playing out. You know, he's going to be playing somewhere where he needs to play every 2 games. 3 games. Light it up in Taiwan, Philippines, Puerto Rico, Japan. Hell, down here. If Kemba Walker was down here in Australia for the NBL, I'd be there front row. Sign my or get my autograph, fam. Out here. It's crazy because he had a 34-point game the other day, and all of a sudden he's getting waived. So I think they definitely got some diagnosis that those knees, it's basically bone on bone right now. Yeah. Which, if I'm him and if you guys are him, you do the smart thing. You stop playing, right? What's the point, right? You got your bag, like he said, like you guys say, right? What's the most important thing is your health. You don't want to be walking around with a walk-in cane or a wheelchair, just to play a few more years on veteran minimum, you know. Yeah, fam. Yep, these wings Thompson boys. Yep, wings are plenty up in there, fam. Yep, look forward to it. Trust me, it's deep, and we haven't even hit March Madness, but there's all-star type potential talent, one through 15, late first round, fam. But yeah, let's wrap this baby up. New York Knicks Nation, stand up. 4-game win streak again. We here after our first win in the 6 in 7 years. Manchild was in the building. We chopped it up. And let's look ahead now. Let's get this dub against Milwaukee. Let's let Giannis know that we're a player in this game, right? And if he becomes a free agent, hey Giannis, you look real nice next to Randle and Brunson. Giannis, let's go. Smash that like button. The streets are buzzing. Blessings, and hope everybody's well. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Right, let's have some fun and talk.